Welcome to Sailing Saoirse. I'm Tegan. My parents sold our house, sold their business, and bought a 38-foot island spirit catamaran with the goal to travel the world. Only problem is, it needed a complete refit. After 3 years, we are finally ready to set sail. This is Colbin, my husband, Karen, my mum, Denver, my brother, and Robin, my dad. Together we make up Sailing Saoirse. After our journey up the coast of Brazil, we finally got to the Salvation Islands, or Ile de Salut, and we felt very much like this monkey, very relaxed and very chilled out, finally at anchor and just able to really relax. In this week's episode, we take you through Iles St Joseph and some of the most incredible historic buildings that we've seen in a very long time. It is a prison with some heavy background, but it doesn't take away from the beauty and the nature that just engulfed it over the many, many years.
So it's day 2 at Iles Salut. Boat didn't know it. Tegan's chasing butterflies. Denver's looking for a fresh variety of fruits on the island. And it's just a forest vibe. I don't even know.
Strange ant nests on trees. Look, it's not the best lighting. There's like little dirt pathways going up to the nest, and then going all the way up the trunk to the top, and they're just everywhere. They're always about this size. This is just a rock in the walkway, but I don't know if these have been carved. Hecka old. Maybe it was part of a building, a sign on a building or something, and the rocks just ended up down here. But interesting.
There isn't as much infrastructure on Iles St Joseph as there is on Iles Royale, but it is still beautiful, and we loved how it looked like the horizon met the sky and you couldn't tell the difference between the sky or the horizon. It was just a beautiful walk around. You could probably do a full loop around the island in about 45 minutes to an hour.
Got like a hole in it, and then it's
We are just walking around the whole perimeter of the island with this view. In last week's episode, we mentioned that there was a children's cemetery that counted 47 graves dated from 1880 to 1942. On Iles St Joseph, there was a cemetery that was for the free personnel, which was guards, doctors, preachers, nuns, and their families. They were buried on the island, and the political prisoners were buried in the deportees cemetery on Devil's Island, which counts about 20 graves.
Yeah, this humidity is something else on this island, man. We're almost at the top. I have no idea where this goes. So there's a whole bunch of different ruins on Iles St Joseph. Very little information given on them though, so we're kind of just playing a guessing game. There's two of them down there. We're on one hell of a climb. She's too scared to come up here. But we're going to climb up this driveway. Very ancient looking driveway. Amazing how the stones have just stayed so well intact over so many years. You can hear the thunderous bang of a coconut falling just away. Makes you a little bit scared.
Iles Royale was the reception centre for the general population of the penal colony. They were housed in moderate freedom due to the difficulty of escape from the island. St Joseph Island was the reclusion, where inmates were sent to be punished by solitary confinement in silence and darkness for escapees or offences committed in the penal colony.
After a long walk around the island, we are incredibly hot, and there's this super steep road we've got to walk up to get around back to where we started. Robin and Denver have powered on ahead of us. Robin's taking the old man route around the side of the island. We wanted to see where this took us, but we've reached the top.
Oh my God,
What's there?
pathway through there.
So there's a spider. Here's a spider.
I counted 9. There's a big mother over there.
There's 2 more huge ones. More. And we're wanting to get through this archway. Are we going to do it? It's an archway of man-eaters. Okay, there you go.
Operation Spiderweb Prison Walk.
Okay, you go first. Protect your old mother. Yo. Holy smokes. Did you make it through?
Yep, I'm here.
Right, we're heading into the dungeons. There's a pathway through the bush here, so obviously everybody comes here. Look at it.
Unfortunately, our bigger cameras are on the blink and they aren't working for videography, so it was really unfortunate to have all this beautiful scenery and only be able to film on our phones. We did get some amazing photography that is up on our Facebook page if you want to go have a look at that.
This must be for the serious criminals, because we haven't seen any other prisons with reinforcing in the walls and double burglar guarding, double prison guards.
The walls were covered in the most magnificent moss and ferns and plants. It was hard not to take pictures of every little section of wall because it was just so beautiful. We didn't realize we were exploring with a bunch of babies. This was Denver and Colvin trying to dodge spider webs.
These are some pretty hardcore cells. Look how tiny they are. But they've also got no roof. They've just got bars. And you get a lot of rain in these parts. And haws and creatures. This must have been a frightening place to be. And there's just rows and rows and rows of these cells. Obviously had big steel doors because they've got the old hinges are still on here. Steel door frames. Really hard to find the beauty in a place like this, but goodness, it's incredible. Again, all the tree roots growing through. Cobbled road, cobbled paving there.
The islands were featured in the autobiography of Papillon, who was imprisoned there for 9 years.
You're not coming any closer because of spiders.
No.
Always on the forage for some fungi.
These prisons were controversially given its reputation for harshness and brutality. Prisoner upon prisoner violence was common, tropical diseases killed many, and a small core of broken survivors returned to France to tell how horrible it was and scare the other potential criminals. The system was gradually phased out and ended completely in 1953. Unlike on Iles Royale on St Joseph, there aren't any signboards telling you what's what. So we are kind of just guessing what's happening here and where to go, because there's just pathways that lead everywhere. So
You didn't hear you've got to go that way around. There was a padlocked gate there.
we're all taking bets at this stage where the dinghy is. That was obviously built in 1897.
It is dusk
Okay, so are we videoing?
and the ladies are having a bath,
I'm not leaving the swim ladder.
an island,
Such a baby.
an island bath.
Can't be such a baby.
You can't see what's below you. Farm
Give me a cuddle.
No, come.
Oh, this is no good. They're such an unadventurous family. They're such killjoys.
A shower with a view. On a yacht you do everything to save water, so we start out with a nice salt water bath and then head on into the freshwater showers.
So come lead by example.
Colvin and my mum thought it was a great idea on the crossing to jump off the bimini into the water, but once it came to it, they were all very hesitant. I had said from the beginning, I'm not doing it, but it took them quite a while to finally get in the water. Apparently it looks a lot higher than it does when you're standing on the sugar scoop.
Okay, Colin, you say it's okay?
Yeah, as long as you see the sugar scoop, I'll wait in here.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds and I'm coming out.
Oh, I don't know if I can do it. Oh, we did it!
We even went back a second day because it was such a sensory overload the first time. Being able to walk through and know where you're going and what you're doing makes the experience that much better.
You're not well, you know.
We were the only people on a yacht that stayed at the islands over the 3 days that we were there. There were a few charter boats that came in with tourists, but other than that, at night we were all alone. The guys did a lot of fishing off the back of the boat, but only caught catfish. My dad caught this one beautiful fish, and he put it back because apparently it was too pretty to eat. It's 5:30 in the morning and we're pulling up anchor. We are heading out of the Salvation Islands and to Marina St Laurent, which is about 120 nautical miles up the coast, and we'll spend about a week there before heading to Trinidad and Tobago. As we pull up anchor, it starts bucketing down. Oh, the morning crowd. And there were 2 jet skis coming straight for us. The one just hit us head on. If you'd like to see more photos of Iles de Salut, please follow us on Facebook under Sailing Saoirse. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you enjoyed our videos and click on the notification bell to be notified when our next video is out.